Enkh Erdene, everybody. Thank you for coming to see us. Is this your first time in the United States?
Have you ever thought about what happens when someone steals the show on America's Got Talent? Get ready to find out, because today we're going to look into the amazing life of Enkh Erdene, the million-dollar Mongolian country music star. From his unexpected rise to fame on AGT to his life after the show, we're going to talk about the shocking turns, highs, lows, and surprising wins. Hold on tight, because this story is about to blow your mind. Career after AGT. The ride for Enkh Erdene on AGT was nothing but wild. Many people didn't think this Mongolian country singer would make such an impact when Heidi Klum chose him for the show. There was more to him than just being able to sing. He was determined to show that music knows no limits. His shows, like Friends in Low Places, were more than just songs. They were events. It was clear that he felt every note and word he sang. Judges who have seen a lot of contestants were shocked by what they heard. At first, they couldn't believe he was real. His voice had the sound of a country singer many years older than he was. The crowd also replied with roaring applause. No one knew what they were seeing, but they were sure it would be something they would never forget. It looked like things were going to go well on the journey, but all of a sudden, things changed. During the quarterfinals, Howie Mandel asked Enkh if she was lip-syncing, which was the first big problem. How was it possible for someone from Mongolia to sing in perfect English with such range and accuracy? It seemed almost impossible. There were questions in his mind, like a cloud over his head. But Heidi Klum quickly defended him by telling the judges and the crowd that AGT doesn't allow lip-syncing. She had been a fan of him from the beginning. Simon Cowell, who is always up for a joke, made a light-hearted comment about how Enkh had learnt English so quickly by using online tools. This added to the story of how hard this talented artist had worked to get to the stage. Even though the controversy was still going on, people still praised Enkh's ability. The storm wasn't over yet, though. Then there was the shocking end, which caught everyone off guard. At first, fans thought it was the song he chose that didn't hit home. He played a less well-known song, and even though it was beautiful, it didn't connect with the crowd as much as his other songs. But as the truth slowly came out, it was clear that his real reason for leaving was a much bigger problem. He already had a record deal, which was against AGT's rules. Lots of people didn't know this, but that deal meant he couldn't compete anymore. Not only did he feel terrible, but so did his fans, who had been following his trip and thought he was about to become famous. The dismissal made AGT fans very upset. Fans were furious because they thought Enkh's ability alone would have been enough to get him to the finals. A lot of people were angry on social media, saying that his elimination wasn't fair, especially since it was a technicality and not a lack of ability. The story got picked up by the media, and the focus went from how well he did to the rules and policies that kept him out of the race. Some people thought that AGT was right to stick to its rules, while others said that the system could have been easier on a rising star like Enkh. It was clear that the choice made a lot of people angry, no matter what side they were on. But Enkh didn't give up after this defeat. Indeed, it began a new part of his work. Even though the show was over, the doors it opened for him were just getting started to open. What came next was truly amazing. It reached a new level of success that not even the rules could stop. As Enkh Erdene dealt with the problems that came up after he left, his trip would lead him to a place where he would really start to shine. His music would not only reach new audiences, but it would also change what it means to connect with people from other cultures. There was more to the story than just the beginning. Let us now talk about the new things he has done since leaving AGT and how his so-called shocking exit became a turning point in his career. New achievements and awards since AGT. The welcome Enkh Erdene got when he got back to Mongolia from his AGT trip was nothing short of legendary. There were lots of cheering fans in the streets, praising both his skill and the pride he had brought to his country. He was no longer just a contestant. He was now a symbol of what it meant to cross borders and change the way people thought about being a Mongolian artist on the world stage. They didn't know it yet, but this was just the start of a much bigger story. Then, in 2004, Enkh Erdene added another big accomplishment to his list. He won the prestigious Knights Award for Outstanding Country Singer of the Year. He beat artists from almost 30 countries and some of the best country music artists in the world. It was a historic win for him because he was the first Mongolian to ever claim such a title. That win wasn't just for Enkh. It was a big deal for Mongolian music because it showed that a voice from a small, faraway country could change the world of country music. It wasn't just his singing that got him noticed. It was the way his Mongolian and American country music blended together. It was a win for all music fans who believe in breaking down barriers and praising differences. After this big win, Enkh Erdene's career went in a new way when he signed with New Nomad Records. The record company quickly saw that he had a unique mix of Mongolian and American country influences and signed him up for more new projects. There aren't many details about his next project yet, but people who know him well are excited about the new music that will continue his journey of blending countries. The world is about to hear more from this growing star now that he has a record label behind him. But awards and new business deals weren't the only things that kept Enkh in the news. Since he left AGT, his live shows have been nothing less than amazing. He has shown the world what it means to be a cross-cultural country star through concerts and tours around the world. His shows have been packed with people from all over the world who want to hear his unique sound, which is a mix of traditional Mongolian instruments and the soulful beats of old-time country music. His shows have been praised by critics, and people who work in the music business are amazed at how well he can combine two very different musical styles. There's no doubt that Enkh's shows are more than just concerts. They are events. People don't just hear his music, they feel it. When he appears, the emotional depth of his voice and his love for his heritage make for an unforgettable atmosphere. Critics who didn't think he belonged in country music before are now some of his biggest fans because they see how real and powerful he is on stage. What will happen next? His music is changing, and every day, his work has a bigger effect on culture. His journey is already moving on to the next part, which you won't want to miss. Stay tuned as we talk about the music that is influencing his future and how people all over the world are responding to his sound. Music releases and collaborations. Enkh Erdene's debut album, Amidral Bayan, was a big step in his career. It came after his unforgettable acts on AGT, which took the music world by storm. This wasn't just a record, it was a link between folk music from Mongolia and the roots of American country music. The sound of the record was new and different. It mixed the soulful stories of country music with the strong rhythms and melodies of Mongolian folk. Heartfelt lyrics, sung in both English and Mongolian, are great for songs like Chameleon and Chiminam that show off this blend. The album's themes include love, strength, and finding oneself, emotions that everyone can connect to, no matter where they come from. People were drawn in not only by the music, but also by the deep sense of culture that was in every note. The record got great reviews in Mongolia and around the world. Critics praised Enkh Erdene's skill at combining different types of music into a sound that was both fresh and old. Mongolian fans were especially happy to hear their culture represented in such a big way around the world. Country music fans liked how deeply his songs made them feel. His songs weren't just pretty tunes. They told stories that brought people together across oceans and countries. One of the best things about Amidral Bayan was Enkh's ability to show emotion without words. It's what made the record stand out in the very competitive music business. But Enkh Erdene wasn't going to stop after making a record. Besides this single, he's been working on other songs, projects, and partnerships that will hopefully take his sound even further. A collaboration with American and Asian artists is already being talked about. The goal of each is to bring together different countries through music. He will be trying out even more types of music in these upcoming projects, which will keep pushing the limits of what it means to be a Mongolian country artist. His artistic goals are endless, and everyone is watching as he gets ready to give his growing fan base new sounds and experiences. He's more than just an artist now. He's also a culture ambassador in many ways. His music is more than just a way for him to express himself. It's a way for the world to learn about Mongolian culture. He shares a piece of Mongolia's rich history and traditions through his music, presenting them to people who may not have known about the country before. His mix of folk songs and country tunes makes Mongolian music easy to understand for people who have never been there. It's a big deal when music can connect people from different cultures, and Enkh Erdene has done just that. Not just people around the world are paying attention. Enkh has become a role model for a new generation of Mongolian artists who want to try out different types of music and listen to music from around the world. His success shows them that it is possible to mix traditional music with popular styles, which encourages more artists to think outside of their own countries. Because of this, more young Mongolian artists are stepping up, ready to make their own way and tell the world their stories in new ways. Not only does Enkh Erdene's songs have an impact, but he also opens doors for other people to follow. Some critics have also said that Enkh Erdene has become a better artist since he was on AGT. What began as raw ability has grown into something much more complex and grown up. His sound and style have been shaped by his experiences, such as fighting on a global stage and figuring out how to mix genres. No longer just a Mongolian country singer, Enkh is a force to be reckoned with. He knows how important it is to tell stories through music, and how powerful it is to connect with people on a deeper level. Every song, performance, and conversation he has with his fans shows how mature he has become as a musician. Building a global community. Enkh Erdene's popularity on social media has grown a lot since his time on AGT. He has been able to reach even more people and keep up the momentum from his TV show thanks to sites like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Fans from all over the world are flooding his pages to see the guy behind the mic, and his follower count has gone through the roof. What began as a small group of Mongolian fans quickly expanded to fans all over the world, thanks to his interesting content and regular appearances. Enkh has shared parts of his songs, behind-the-scenes videos, and even short personal essays on TikTok, which have struck a chord with his fans. Some of his movies have gone viral, getting millions of views and making him even more well-known. He has fans who connect with more than just his songs. They also connect with the person Enkh shows on these platforms. He shows parts of his daily life, like when he plays music or spends time alone with family and friends. Fans have been able to see the real Enkh Erdene through these real posts, not just the AGT contestant or country music star, but also a normal person who loves sharing his culture and story. Fans feel close to him because of the behind-the-scenes posts that show him in the studio working on new songs or just thinking about his life. They see more than just a talent. they see a person they can connect with. There has been a huge response from his friends. A huge number of words of love and support can be found in the comments. Mongolian fans are especially proud to cheer for a star who promotes their country around the world. But his fans around the world aren't far behind. Fans from the US, Japan, and other places often leave comments saying how much they love his songs and respect his talent. Getting words from young artists who look up to Enkh Erdene is one of the nicest things that happened to him. His ability to work around language hurdles and make something that everyone can enjoy speaks to a lot of people, especially those who don't feel like they belong in the music business. Enkh Erdene has also used social media in a smart way to stay popular, even when he's not featured on a TV show. Social media is always there to remind his fans that his music is still changing and that his business is still growing. He knows that TV appearances that once made him famous around the world can be short-lived. So he's working hard to build a brand that lasts longer than one show or one popular moment. Enkh uses his platforms to share short pieces of music, advertise future shows, and even give fans a look into how he makes his music. He keeps his audience interested and up to date all the time, making them eager for what's next. He is different from many singers who only use traditional media because he is always in touch with his fans. Live stream shows and working with other artists online are two of the coolest ways he keeps his fans interested. He has been able to reach people in places he might not have been able to tour in the past, thanks to these online events. He held a live-streamed show in 2023, and fans from all over the world watched to hear him play. These online shows were just as powerful as his live shows, and they made him become a bigger name in the music world around the world. Additionally, Enkh Erdene has worked together online with artists from around the world, sharing fresh ideas and combining their sounds in fun new ways. He has been able to push his limits and make something truly original, thanks to this online group of singers. Even though there are language barriers, social media has been very helpful in keeping Enkh Erdene's foreign brand alive. This man's music speaks to people all over the world through its raw feeling and mix of cultures. His fans connect with the way his music makes them feel, even if they don't all speak Mongolian or English perfectly. Because of this, he has become a cultural ambassador who uses the internet to share his heritage and uses music to change people's minds. Now, let's talk about how Enkh Erdene is affecting a new breed of artists and how his success is setting them on the path to breaking into global markets, just like he did. What we really know: facts and rumors about Enkh Erdene's personal life, like if he has a wife or how much money he has, should be kept separate. There is no reliable information about his marriage, even though many videos and stories online claim to know details about his wife and finances. The rumors are mostly based on clickbait articles that are meant to get people to read them but don't really give any useful information. Such claims have never been backed up by Enkh's public or social media posts, and he has always kept his personal life out of the public eye. Because he wants to, Enkh Erdene has kept quiet about his personal life. The singer talks a lot about his career with his fans, but he seems to like to keep personal things like his relationships and family issues quiet. Likely, they're trying to keep things normal in a job that is otherwise very public. It's important for many artists, especially those who become famous quickly, to decide what parts of their lives they want to share. Enkh can make sure that his personal life doesn't get in the way of his artistic successes by focusing on his music and cultural work. There are a lot of rumors about his personal life, which brings up important moral questions about how the media should report on celebrities. Getting caught up in someone's private life is easy, especially if that person is a growing star. However, sharing information that hasn't been checked out can be bad for both the person being talked about and the public's view of how real they are. Enkh has decided not to share private information, and that's important to respect. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting updates. And make sure to click on the next video popping up on your screen to keep the journey going.